This is New Mexico United Black and Yellow Report, hosted by the KRQE Sports Department.
Hello and welcome to the Black and Yellow Report. We have got everything happening with New Mexico United.
Yep, that's right, Van. We will get to know another United player and, of course, talk about their next matchup. But up first, the Black and Yellow are riding 4 straight wins in league play.
That's right, Jared, and we will start with United's victory over North Carolina this past Saturday, as once again, it would be a late game thriller.
United game highlights sponsored by Winrock Town Center.
It has become a trend with the Black and Yellow as this past Saturday night matchup would be scoreless most of the way through. Both teams would finish with 9+ shots, but United would control possession for 77% of the game. Sergio Rivas just missed out on a goal in the 76th minute as an offsides flag would be raised. So to stoppage time we go and still scoreless. How about Thomas Amang as in his club debut, he plays game winner. Yep, he flushes a shot off of a laser from Mackenzie Gaines. United puts it away in the 93rd minute. 1-0 is the final. Black and Yellow win their 4th straight match and earn their 3rd consecutive clean sheet.
I think it's incredible what happened today for me, especially on the first goal and my first opportunity that the coach gave me, so I took it, so I'm happy about it.
We talk about being the protagonist all season long, and I thought that we were in a lot of control tonight. You know, when you have that, it just wears on teams. You know, I continue to believe in the collective process. Another night that you have guys coming off the bench that are elevating the group and helping the team win.
We just have a constant belief that we're going to win games, and that belief stems from training. We believe that before we kick off in games. We really do a good job of staying vocal and not getting frustrated and staying patient. And we knew we were going to get the job done again.
But now let's take a look back at last night's Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup game, which was played at UNM Soccer Complex. United made the Open Cup quarterfinals a year ago, but this time around, the Black and Yellow would be knocked out in a heartbreaking opener. Our Brad Benson has more on that.
Yeah, Van, United was less than a minute away from victory, but then just 30 minutes later, the club found itself eliminated from the tournament. New Mexico actually started this game in the hole as El Paso scored off of an early corner, and this was the first time in over a month that United conceded a goal. Now, this deficit would be short-lived as later in the half, New Mexico responded. Mackenzie Gaines came up with a big interception just outside the El Paso box and found Marlon Vargas for a quick tap-in goal. And then in the second half, United took the lead as Makwele Akale sent in a cross, and Jalen Lindsay played finisher with a header for his first goal as a member of New Mexico United. Now, this match seemed to be wrapped up with United leading in the final minute of stoppage time. But El Paso sent everyone up, and after a breakdown in United's backline, El Paso found the back of the net to force extra time. Eventually, this match went to a penalty shootout, and it would be bad for New Mexico from the start. Up first was Gideon Zalelem, and his first shot was blocked. And after another miss from Kalen Ryden, El Paso was able to ice this match for a 4-1 victory in penalties. A devastating way to exit the tournament for United, as they believe they lost it in regulation before it ever went to PKs.
I just have higher expectations of our group. I think overall, throughout the game, like nowhere near our best, with and without the ball, energy, competitive spirit, just a little bit naive.
The game should have never gone to extra time, and just the manner in which we conceded, how we conceded late like that, makes this extremely disappointing.
Now, the numbers from last night support those claims as United had nearly 2 more expected goals and 2 more big chances created than El Paso. The overall possession numbers were down compared to what the team has shown all season, but a lot of that actually came from extra time because El Paso, well, they made it known that they were just trying to get to penalties. And once it got to that point, United couldn't convert, which is a problem that has been around this club for years. Now, the silver lining about last night is the result does not count towards USL standings, where United currently sits near the top, and they actually got a pretty big match coming up next. Back to y'all for more on that.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. It's a tough loss, but United will be back to league play in a week, looking to extend their streak to 5.
Yep, that's right. And their next matchup will be at home on Wednesday night. Now, it might be easier to bounce back at home, but United will have a tough test as they host the first-place team in the Western Conference, Monterey Bay, who has won 4 out of their last 5 matches. Kickoff set for 7 p.m., and Monterey Bay won't have as much rest as the Black and Yellows. They do have a game this Saturday. Now, they have won 4 out of their last 5 matches, but there's still plenty of tickets available for that Wednesday night matchup, and it will be at the Lab.
The Black and Yellow Report is just getting started. United assistant coach Luke Sanford will be this week's guest in the Coach's Corner. Get his take on United's upcoming matchup with Monterey Bay after the break. Time for Kicking It with Coach. Dennis Sanchez not here today, but Luke Sanford is his assistant. And Luke, first of all, thanks for coming, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so I know you guys have that first place look. You know, you're ready to get back in the first place. You know, you had the good season last year, the Western Conference.
Yeah.
You wrapped that thing up. And Monterey, your next opponent, is the only one that's standing in the way of that, right? You're 1 point behind.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a good game. I think in this league, every opponent brings a different challenge, and I think Monterey will bring something new that maybe we haven't seen before. So excited about the game. So
it will kind of give you an advantage if you can get the points and overtake them, because I understand they played an extra game more than you guys already, right?
Yeah, with the game we had postponed in Colorado, they're a match ahead of us. We have a game in hand, and that can come in handy, obviously, down the stretch. But I think most importantly is that's the next game, and so that's the one we're focused on.
Yeah.
It's such a long season for us. Obviously, the table is always something that you're trying to advance your position in, but right now it's really about our performances and continuing to grow as a group, and we see it as a really good challenge. But anytime that you're in a position to play for first, that means you're doing well, and we're excited for the game.
You said the word challenge. What kind of challenge will Monterey be for you guys?
Yeah, so they have a coaching staff that took over towards the end of last season, and a bit of a rebuilt roster, so still kind of figuring out what kind of team they're going to be.
Right.
But I think a team that's going to come out maybe than we've seen so far as their structure, a team that's going to look to have the ball a bit, which is something that we prided ourselves in, and so I think it'll be a team that has some similar ideas to us. But Jordan Stewart, their coach, has done a really good job. Obviously, a team that didn't make playoffs last year, and a team that's sitting in first now. So they've obviously turned some things around, and so I think that'll present some new challenges for us.
And when you said have the ball, you guys have the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking back to that North Carolina game where 77% of the time, as far as possession goes, I mean, that's insane to me.
Yeah, it's part of our DNA. It's something that we work on a lot, and that Dennis has drilled into the team a bit, and but it also fits the profiles of the players that we have. So I think it helps to construct a roster that's going to want to do and in their natural abilities are going to do the things that we're trying to accomplish as a team. And for us, we see it holistically. I think when you're in control of the ball, you're in control of the game, and you may see, I think a lot of people would see that as an attacking type style, and it very much is, but at the same time, we've had 3 shutouts in a row for the first time in club history. And so, for us, we see it as a way to control the game also in terms of like a defensive side of things too.
Yeah, they can't score if they don't have the ball.
Right.
And going back to that game, you made me think about something. Thomas Among, he's making his debut.
Yeah.
And he scores the game winner in stoppage time. I mean, like, that's crazy, man.
He
just got here.
It is, yeah. Thomas was a little bit late coming into preseason with some visa issues coming from Cameroon. And he first of all, Thomas is an incredible person. He's a quiet guy, but he has an infectious personality, a big smile every day. And he's worked really hard to get himself fit and back into a place to have an opportunity, which is we have a deep roster. And so those opportunities are earned, and Thomas has trained really well. And between Dennis and Armando and I and David, the conversation on the bench of like, how are we going to sub and try to change this game at the end? And the guys that have been coming into the games have done an incredible job. You look at how many late goals we've scored. A lot of times it's game changers that have come into the game, and he happened to be ready when his number was called.
Yeah, I have noticed that, and I talked to Dennis about that, about how you guys seem to, like whether it's stoppage time or just very late. I mean, you guys just seem to do just enough to get there. It's almost like the guys talk, "Hey, you guys ready to win?" And boom, it happens.
Yeah. Well, it's not our preference. we would rather score 4 or 5 goals a game.
Right.
Yeah. But what I do think it is a few things. One, I think it's the character of the group, and to stay positive and committed to how we wanted to go about things. I also think it's part of it is the fact that we have had the ball so much. It's tiring to have to defend us for that long, and so I think we've worn teams down by that point, and guys have stayed poised and ready in their moments. And I think there will come a time in this season where there will be close games, playoffs or whatever, late in the season, where we can lean on the fact that we've scored and won games late. And so I think that's something really nice to have in your psyche.
And as far as you guys playing that way, do you talk about the fact that you have such a deep bench? that you can come at people in waves. You know, like it's just not guys out there with their tongue hanging out because they're so tired because you have to rely on that guy. You can put this guy, and you're just stacked. You could put the next guy in.
Yeah, well, I think it starts before the match, and that we have a deep bench, and that means that every day in training is competitive. And so I think that helps get guys prepared. And then I also think, the guys that have been, maybe they haven't been chosen to start in that game, the mentality that they've had to come in and impact things has been phenomenal. And we've continued to show faith and get guys minutes and chances. And, when you have that positive mindset that they've had, puts you in a position to succeed when you do get asked to come in.
New Mexico United, they're deep. Even into coaching staff. Luke Sanford, the assistant here to join me, filling in for Dennis Sanchez. Don't go anywhere. We have much more show coming back on the Black and Yellow Report. Welcome back. Each week on the Black and Yellow Report, we will highlight a player from the main team and sometimes from the academy.
That's right, Van. And in this week's New Mexico United player profile, we will showcase a homegrown product. Cibola High School graduate Sergio Rivas.
You ready?
Yep.
Hey guys, my name is Sergio Rivas, number 7 and midfielder for New Mexico United. I'm originally from Albuquerque and I've been playing professional soccer for 7 years. There's many reasons, but the biggest one is the family that I have here. I'm not talking about just my immediate family, but the state as a whole. The way we care for each other and the way that we treat people here is something that I really admire. And I love the club. I love the club, the way they run things here, and they treat me well here. I will start with my individual goals is to stay healthy through the whole season and enjoy it every single second that I'm out there. And as a team, obviously, is to win the championship. We came up short last year. As I've mentioned before, I wasn't able to play in the last game, the semifinals, and I need some payback for that, and we gotta get you guys the cup. All right, something that's unique about me is that I can speak 2 languages, but I think in one and I speak in the other. So I think in Spanish and I speak in English. Yeah. And I also dream in Spanish too. Best hair other than me is Fernando. Best dressed, I would say, best dressed is Zico Bailey. And the reason why is because he's got some really good outfits. Oh, okay, worst dressed. Okay, let me think.
You're talking to him.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say that. You sure? Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. Okay. Worst dressed is Akali. And that is because he just doesn't care. Can't wait to see you guys get rowdy. Somos unidos.
Why are you calling that man worst dressed?
I didn't.
Once again, we will do these profiles every week, and in our next episode, we'll highlight the man who seems to be in on every play, Kwele Akale. It's now time for when you, the fans, take center stage.
Yep, this is my favorite part of the show as we are saluting those fans whose blood runs black and yellow, like Dean Montoya, who is showing off when he won a mystery box at a United game, and yep, looking clean and black and yellow mean, my man Dean is proudly displaying his spoils.
David Candelaria even has his dog Sugar in full United spirit. He took Sugar on a walk to make sure everyone knows his pride in New Mexico United. If you want to share your spirit with us, go to krqe.com and click on sports. There's still plenty to come on the Black and Yellow Report. When we come back, we'll have the play of the week.
And for the first time this season, we will give the casual soccer fan a little lesson on the beautiful game. Soccer 101 is next. Welcome back. It's now time to get to a new segment we call Soccer 101.
Each week, we'll give the casual viewer or new fans to soccer a lesson on the ins and outs of the game. Here's Brad Benson with more.
Soccer 101 to teach you the rules of this game. And starting off, we have offside. Today, I am joined by United's goalkeeper coach and set piece coach, Armando Quesada. So, offside, what is it? How can you explain it?
Maybe we can start why we have the rule. Essentially, similar to kind of in hockey, there's a restriction of where an offensive player can start before they receive the ball. So the reason we have the rule is to kind of restrict, right, an offensive player by just standing by the goal. Essentially in basketball, the reference would be cherry picking, right? So an offensive player can't just stand by the goal or the basket to expect a pass. In soccer, we have offsides because we want to give some sort of an advantage for the defender to have the same equal opportunity to defend the attacker. What I mean by that is that an offensive player cannot be behind a defender before the pass is initiated, right? So this actually restricts the game from becoming a ping pong match where if I could just have all of our offensive players by the goal and then we would just have this 67-yard ball across the field and then it would just make it easy for the attackers to kind of score a goal at that point, right? So it restricts the offensive player from being in a position that gives them an advantage to score a goal over the defender.
So basically just don't cherry pick to give the offensive guy a one-on-one opportunity with the keeper.
Exactly. Even one-on-one, it's why wouldn't, if the rule did not exist, I would probably have 5 of our players by the goal, right? Which would give us a tremendous opportunity to have a 5v1 or a 5v0 against the other goalkeeper.
All right, well, this is Armando Quesada with New Mexico United, and this is Soccer 101. Back to you guys for more Black and Yellow Report.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. It is now time for the Black and Yellow Play of the Week.
Yep, and our nerves, along with every New Mexico United fan, were being stretched by the Black and Yellow this past weekend as United continues to wait till deep into stoppage time to score a game winner.
Still in possession. Vargas gets it down to Lindsay. Seymour has it blocked. Seymour again, blocked again. Here's Gaines. New Mexico takes the lead. It's the first goal for New Mexico. Thomas Among in second half stoppage time. Welcome to the lab.
A 93rd minute game winner gives United all 3 points against North Carolina. And what a moment for Thomas Among, as that marked his first goal in what was his club debut for New Mexico United. And oh yeah, he had the roar of over 10,000 fans at the lab to congratulate him. Too cool.
New Mexico United will not play until next Wednesday when they return to league play. And once again, they'll be hosting Monterey Bay FC on April 23rd at 7 p.m. Right now, United is just 1 point out of first place in the Western Conference. You can watch the game on New Mexico 50 or on KRQE.com. And that does it for this episode of the Black and Yellow Report. If you are looking for the latest United gear, head to their website, NewMexicoUnited.com.
And you have continued to cheer on United as their search for silverware continues. But until next time, stay black and yellow. And as always, we'll catch you on the other side of the pitch.